always and forever. Each moment with you is just like a dream to me that somehow came true. And I know tomorrow will still be the same, 'cause we've got a life of love that won't ever change. Yeah, I really should just leave that to Heatwave. I apologize to your ears for what you just heard. So just in time for Valentine's Day, Netflix brings us the third movie in the Lara Jean Covey story with To All the Boys, Always and Forever. See, that's why I sang the song. Is this what you should be watching with your sweetheart this weekend? As Lara Jean Covey prepares for the end of high school and the start of adulthood, a pair of life-changing trips lead her to reimagine what life with her family, friends, and Peter Kavinsky could look like after graduation. If you care about Munchies, I want you to stay tuned to the end of this review. I found a new Munchie that I'm going to try for the very first time. So this is the third story in the To All the Boys I've Loved Before series by Jenny Han. Now, I've not read any of them, but luckily I've seen all the movies. I really enjoyed the first movie and thought the second one was just okay the first time I saw it. But I rewatched both this week and really enjoyed seeing them both again. The second is still the weakest out of all of them, but that doesn't mean it's bad by any means. So the crux of this story revolves around Lara Jean and Peter getting ready to graduate and their plan to attend college together. Their hopes and dreams are all based on this first step. So what happens when other options are introduced? Now, just like in the other two films, Always and Forever has a great soundtrack. There's lots of songs that I wasn't familiar with, but I really got into them. And there were also some ones that were great flashbacks for me. The film takes us to some beautiful places. It starts in Korea and then we go to New York, and these provide some awesome backdrops to view, even if some of the time spent on these locations felt a little too long and maybe even unnecessary at times. I think some of the montage in New York could have been cut down. It went on a bit long, which then only served to add additional time to the film and not actual story content. And I'm not saying to cut it all out, just a little bit of it. Now, something similar can be said for the time in Korea. It was cool as a touching moment, and it does provide some fun for Kitty later on in the story, but it also wasn't overly necessary. There's still wonderful chemistry between Lana Condor and Noah Cintineo. They click really well, and they're believable as two people who genuinely appreciate each other. Their on-screen personas feel effortless, and I get the sense that they're really close friends in real life because they truly look like they enjoy each other's presence and togetherness. The dialogue is still a lot of fun too. There's that witty banter that most of the cast gets to deliver, even if it's not 100% believable that high school students are going to speak this way in regards to conflict and their feelings. And it still really works with the narrative, and I found it really satisfying. The story continues to capture the feelings of young love and high school romances. I mean, we have the pressures of prom and peer expectations, and these provide some sweet and touching moments, but without getting overly syrupy. I still love seeing John Corbett in this. At one point, he was channeling his best Chris Stevens from Northern Exposure. It was great. I mean, he's not in this a ton, but he does get a story arc that is touching and fitting for the conclusion of this trio of stories. Now, this is very predictable, but not annoyingly so in a way that makes it boring. I mean, it just makes it relatable and comfortable. At one point, Lara Jean and Peter, as a couple, they're trying to find their song. And Peter makes Lara Jean an Oasis playlist, and then she bags on the band. I mean, now I know a lot of people think that Wonderwall is their best album, but come on, anybody that knows anything knows that Definitely Maybe is by far their best album, hands down. One thing I particularly enjoyed is that while there is conflict that arises, and it's especially in the relational sense, there's still an overall kindness to the story. We even get to see some reconciliation between characters that have been at odds in the previous films. And I like that great character growth, even if the arc takes the 3 movies to fully be realized. So this is a tiny bit long at just under 2 hours. I think the pace for the majority of the story was well done. It wasn't rushed, and it also didn't feel like it was dragging, but like I said, there are some scenes in New York and Korea that just went on a little too long. So despite all the predictability, the chemistry and timing between Cintineo and Condor make this very much worth the watch. I found the relationship to be highly enjoyable, and it's got a lot of emotion, but without the cheese. I think this is a great way to wrap up the story. It doesn't promise everything, but it gives us hope for a very happy future for LJ and Peter. So this is an easy watch, and it doesn't demand much, but it gives us a bunch in return. I certainly am going to revisit this one because it was just so entertaining. Okay, so before I give my rating, I found these the other day at IKEA, and I felt they were perfect for Valentine's Day because they're heart-shaped and they're cookies with chocolate. So how can you go wrong? Let's try them. They are Caffarep. I think that's how I'm saying it. Probably not, but whatever. It says Caffarep is memorable moments with laughter and cookies. Cookies with chocolate flavored filling. I don't know. They were cheap, I think. They haven't expired, which is good. See, I opened up the bottom just so that I could get to it quicker. So there's like a chocolate looking cookie at the back. I don't know if that focuses, if you can see it, whatever. And then kind of a vanilla-ish maybe cookie on the top with some chocolate in it. Let's see. It's nothing special, but it's not bad. And you know what? It's a cookie with chocolate. I mean, it's kind of like just, I don't know, anything that you might get at the store. But hey, if you're walking through IKEA and you get a little, hangry and you need to just munch on something, this is not too bad, the Caffarep. They had one that I think was had fruit in it also, like strawberry or something like that. And that would have been great for Valentine's Day because the wrapping was pink. But me, I'm definitely more of a chocolate guy, and it's not too sweet. So that's awesome. All right, let's get back to the review. There's brief sex, no nudity, some profanity, and no violence. I give To All the Boys, Always and Forever, 4 out of 5 couches. So are you a fan of To All the Boys series? Have you been looking forward to this one? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for catching with me.